Hello, friends. Greetings of the day. I am Wonderful Banerjee, your host for the day. I'm back in the channel once again. That is Hospitality Education PPT. And as you all know, that we are discussing about understanding meat basics. And in that particular series, we have already completed 5 areas. And today is our sixth lesson, sixth part of it. And under this session, we are going to discuss about concept of poultry and games, and I'm sure this session will be another one very interesting session for you all as far as information, concept and knowledge is concerned. So without wasting further time, let us proceed to the next. Well, today in this particular session, we are going to discuss about few things, and those are on your screen now. First one, that will clarify the concept of poultry and game. Then the next topic will be how is poultry raised, because rearing of the animal has got direct impact in the cooking methods as well as the tenderness of the meat. So that we are going to understand. Third point, we'll try to identify the poultry as per their market names. We'll try to also identify the games as per their market names. And then we should learn clearly that how the poultry will be pre-prepared before we go for actual fabrication of the meat for different preparations, whether it is the Indian preparations or international preparations. That basic will remain the same for both the cases, and that we are going to learn. And finally, we'll summarize the entire lesson so that it will be reinstalled in your mind forever. Okay, so without delay further, let us proceed to the first one, that is poultry and game. We'll clarify the concept of poultry and game. First one, what is called a poultry? Poultry is basically a domestic birds which are reared and fattened for the table are called poultry. So they are basically poultry, the domestic birds reared, that means they are developed, nurtured their daily lives in a particular way. For what? To fatten. Fatten means to develop their flesh for the table purpose, that means for the consumption. So domestic birds which are consumed, basically they are known as the poultry birds. It also refers to the different kinds of domestic and battery reared fowls which are commercially sold, such as chickens, geese, ducks, turkeys, and pigeons. What do you understand by the term battery reared? Battery reared is nothing but is a commercial way of developing these birds within a very specific area with a domesticated food, so that they develop the flesh in the body in a short span of time and get ready for the market, for the consumption. So that is known as a battery reared, that is a technical term. And another one term we have used out here, fowls. Fowls and chicken are very much used interchangeably. So there should not be any confusion about this particular term. So that is about the poultry. And also chicken is by far the most widely consumed type of poultry. Under poultry there are many birds, and out of that birds, chicken is the only bird which is widely consumed. Why it is so popular? Because its neutral flavor, readily absorbed flavors from the seasonings you are using, marinades you are marinating the meat, and sauces you are applying while cooking. That means it has got the unique feature that it absorbs the flavor very readily. from different ingredients you are using. Whether it is your tandoori cooking or continental cooking or any other Indian regional cuisines or any other international cuisines, there it is all universal and it is so versatile to absorb the ingredients and the flavor according to the ingredients you are using. That is why chicken is very, very popular. Now another one, the word game applied to an animal which are hunted and eaten. The word game, we are talking about that group of animals which are basically hunted and eaten. They are known as the game animals. Now, of course, under the game animals and under this particular session, we are going to discuss only about the game birds. Okay. Now, if you really see, in recent years, the availability of such birds as quail and squab has increased and they are seen regularly on restaurant menus. Out of these game birds, mainly the quail and squab. Squab is what? The young pigeons, which are very popular in all restaurant menus. Internationally, I am talking about. And then poultry has got, game has got two different kinds. One is ford game. In French, we call it le gibier à poil. Le gibier à poil. And the second one is the feathered game, which is in French known as le gibier à plumage. So these are the two names. They are popular in the international cuisines. Clear? So we are having right now a clear-cut concept about the poultry and game birds. How is poultry raised? That is our next point of learning. Poultry is raised in several different ways and each has got some influence and impact on the bird as far as its tenderness and flavor. And what are those? First one is free range bird. What is called free range bird? Free range birds are allowed to forage for food outdoors. The birds roam outside at will. That means these birds has got no restrictions imposed on them. They are free to roam around, free to take any food they are available, they feed, it is good for their consumption, they consume, there is no restriction imposed, and as a result, they develop their flesh body, they becomes matured animal, matured bird, and that is known as a free range bird. From the name, it is very clear they are free range, no restriction imposed on them. So that is one way of rearing birds. Another one is mass produced bird. What is a mass produced bird? Mass is basically a medicated diet which is meant for these kind of birds which are commercially grown. Commercially grown birds, they are developed in a crowded manner but very carefully supervised manner in a condition. Their movements are restricted over there. As a result, what happens? They develop flesh for their body within a very short span of time and it becomes a market ready as far as their weight and size is concerned. In different weeks, we get different kind of birds. Accordingly, it is sold in the market. So this is known as the mass-produced bird. And then the final one, third one is organic poultry. What is organic poultry? Though nowadays the organic term is very common to many of us, but we will take some moment out here to understand what is known as the organic and then organic poultry, of course. What is that? Organic poultry must be fed chemical free grain and be raised on such land that has not been treated with chemical fertilizers or pesticides for at least 3 years. Then only it will be termed as organic poultry or organic bird. I repeat once again, they won't be given any chemical influenced diet, rather chemical free diet they will be provided with. and they will be reared in such a place where the field is not treated with any kind of chemicals and pesticides for at least 3 years. Then only they will be termed as organic poultry. So right now we are having free range bird, we are having mass produced bird, and we are having organic poultry, the right style of rearing. Then we are going to try to identify the poultry as per the market trends. First one is known as a chicken. Chicken is the most popular and widely eaten poultry in the world, that already we have discussed. It contains both light and dark meat. Now the question is how and why. Chicken, it has got both light kind of meat and dark kind of meat, dark colored, light colored. Normally the science is that the part of the body of the animal or the bird which is exposed to good amount of exercise, that area obviously the flow of blood is more, flow of oxygen is more, as a result that meat becomes darker. Like the leg of the chicken, the winglet of the chicken, that area is exposed to exercises, so naturally that meat becomes darker in color, whereas the meat in the breast region, it becomes light in color, as because there is no such exercise is exposed or experienced by the bird. Clear? And the chicken is very versatile, as because it is ready to accept any kind of flavor, and it can be used in different ways, like it can be used as stuffed, it can be basted. Basted means application of fat during cooking. That can be garnished in many ways. So that versatility is very much there with the chicken. That is why they are world popular. Next one is known as Pusa chicken. Pusa. A Pusa or spring chicken is a young chicken famous in the Commonwealth countries. I'm not going to explain what is called Commonwealth countries out here, of course. A Pusa is typically less than a month old. Remember that, at the time of slaughtering, and is relatively more minor in size, which with its weight usually falling between 400 grams to 450 grams, and it has a slight and mild flavor and carries somewhat less fat due to its small size. So Pusa bird, in gist, what we can say, it is a small bird, less than 1 month old. Body weight is around 400 to 450 grams. It has got a mild flavor, and it has got almost no fat in their body, and very ideal for short span of cooking process. That is known as a pusa. Now after pusa, we get another one similar bird, which is known as the spring chicken. Now this spring chicken gets its distinguished name because it was traditionally produced in the spring season. It is also known as a double baby chicken due to being more expensive than the usual size. Okay, and its weight usually ranges between same like 400 grams to 450 grams. As for the meat, it is very tender and ideal for roasting, tandoor, and any kind of grilling process. And we all know by this time, due to the methods of cooking, that roasting, tandoor, and grilling process are not a prolonged cooking process, it is a short span of cooking process. And as because these birds are very tender, so these methods like roasting, tandoor, and grilling is the actually will give you the very best result in a short span of time. So that is about the spring chicken. Now, broiler or fryer. Another market name available in front of us, that is broiler or fryer. A broiler is a young chicken, again, typically less than 10 weeks. Remember that. It is characterized by supple breastbone cartilage and a smooth texture of the skin. If you look at the skin, because whenever you will be receiving chicken, It will be received like this in your area, in the kitchen area, and you'll have a look at the skin. Then the skin should be very smooth. The breastbone part here, it will be very supple. Cartilage will be little soft, and it is versatile for any kind of methods of cooking. A broiler, weight wise, it is to 1.2 kg standard weight, and a fryer 1.2 kgs to 1.6 kgs. Now the point is why the name is given broiler. You all know that in a methods of cooking there is a typical method under dry medium that is known as the broiling method. And broiling method says what? It is something doing on a griddle or a pan by using very less amount of oil or no oil for a short span of time to get the purpose done. Purpose is basically cooking. Like the masalas. You want to roast the masalas. We adopt a broiling method. We take a tawa or a pan. Either we grease the pan with little amount of oil or without any oil. We just put it on a flame, moderate flame. The pan will be heated. Accordingly, the ingredients will be also heated. It will become roasted, crispy, intense flavor will come out, and that will be powder or grounded. That is a method of broiling. Now this kind of chicken is also so soft that it is cooked for a short span of time. That is why the name is associated with broiler. So broiler chicken means worldwide the name is accepted. Broiler chicken is, they are very easily cooked bird. Standard weight is 1.2 kgs. Fryer is 1.2 to 1.6 kgs. So they are used for broiling, frying, braising, and making different kind of casserole dishes. Casserole means it is a kind of oven proof container where the food is cooked and served from the same container. That is known as casserole. So broiler and fryer is clear in our mind now. Another one category we get in the market that is known as roasting chicken or roaster. A roaster is a comparatively older chicken of either sex with its usual age range between 3 to 5 months and weight is around 2.2 kgs. The meat of a roaster is tender, but it lacks flexibility in the breastbone cartilage. That is well understood as because it is 3.5 kg, 3 to 5 months old. And the methods are applied for stewing, braising, pan frying and grilling. And these are slightly longer methods of cooking adopted for them. So that is about roasted chicken or roaster. Then we get capon, another one bird. A capon is a castrated form of chicken, typically 4 to 8 months old. This famous bird is slightly more expensive owing to its great flavor and large breast area. The weight range of this breed lies between 2.2 kgs to 3.5 kgs. That means they are large. Capons, while popular choice for a roasted dish, are also sometimes used for poaching or braising purpose. So that is about the capon. Fowl and hen. Hens are laying birds. They lay eggs used for their meat post their prime laying period. So for the prime time, they are utilized for laying eggs only. Once that prime time is over, they are used for the meat. So you can understand that this kind of meat will be not so tender. It will be little tough. Cartilage in the breastbone area will be little sturdier, and they require a prolonged method of cooking like stewing. That is why many a times it is synonymously known as a stewing chicken because of the hardness and toughness of the meat. Clear? Fine enough? Then we get another one variety in the market that is known as the cock. the male version, or we call it rooster. What is that? This breed is usually about 10 months old. It is older, 10 months old at the time of slaughtering, making it an adult. A cock or rooster has hard, dark meat, white dark meat, you all know by this time, and is traditionally used in dishes with slower methods and longer cooking time. Harder the meat, we have to adopt a longer method of cooking, as it allows the meat to become smoother. It is a popular choice for dishes like stew and braise. Okay, fair enough. Now we'll try to identify some game birds out here. First one is guinea. A guinea or guinea fowl is the domesticated descendant of a game bird. It has both light and dark meat and flavors similar to pheasant. Guinea is tender enough to saute. Saute, as you know, it is another one very short method of cooking because it contains little fat. A guinea is usually barded before roasting. This is a new term for us, barded. Barded means what? Suppose you are using a lean meat for grilling or roasting purpose, then you have to cover it with a layer of pork fat on top, and that method is known as barding. What will happen? Because of the heat, this fat will melt first, it will penetrate the meat, and as a result, the meat will remain juicy and soft. That is the advantage we get. So whenever there is a lean meat, we should adopt the process of barding the meat before cooking process. Clear? Then duck. The duck used most often in commercial food service area is a rooster duckling. It contains only dark meat and large amount of fat. So duck has got good amount of fat in their body. Next is goose. A goose contains only dark meat and has very fatty skin. The outer skin is very fatty. Whenever you cook along with the skin, the fat will melt and come down in the pan. It is usually roasted at high temperatures to render the fat so that the fat will melt and the heat will penetrate inside. Roasted goose is often served with an acidic fruit-based sauce to offset the fattiness. As you know that it contains lots of fat, so automatically the product will be also oily, very greasy. To cut down the taste of the fat, it is always accompanied with the acidic fruit-based sauce so that you can enjoy the goose in a better way. Another one, pigeon. The young pigeon used in commercial food is referred as a squab. Already we have mentioned that. Its meat is dark, tender, and well suited for broiling, sauteing, or roasting. And squab has very little fat and benefits from again barding process. So this is the image of squab. There's also very less fat is there in the body, so you need to go for barding. And of course, in our coming session, we'll discuss in detail about barding and larding process, which are very similar, and we'll get more clear concept over there. After pigeon, we get another one bird that is known as pheasant. They are more flavorful than chicken. Remember this is very important. One pheasant can serve for two people. Pheasants are lean, so again barding is very important for getting the benefit of the juiciness. Clear? Finally, the turkey. Turkey name is very common to all of you, and there is a confusion as well whether turkey will be called as a game bird or a poultry bird. And for your information, it is treated as both. Turkey is the second most popular poultry kind in the United States and also internationally. Especially during the Christmas time, it is very much used for the celebration. It is a festive time bird. It has both light and dark meat and relatively small amount of fat. So younger turkey is economical and can be prepared in almost any manner. So it is some traditional way turkey is very much used during the Christmas time, roast turkey. Now, we have learned by this time different parts of different style of chicken and poultry, especially and the game, the concept is clear. Then different market names for poultry and different market names for the game birds we have discussed. Now we'll try to know about preparing a chicken before we actually fabricate the chicken for a specific preparation. What we have to do first? First is killing of the bird. It is done in three ways. One is by dislocating the neck, that is one way. Second is to take out the jugular vein from inside the mouth, which is known as the sticking. And the third method is the kosher style by cutting the throat from outside. So these are the three ways. I am not going in details about the killing of bird. Now next is plucking. Once the bird is killed, obviously it has got lots of feather outside that has to be removed, plucked off, and how we can pluck it. Now you'll see that direction of the feather in a particular direction, then you have to pull the feather and pull it in the opposite direction so that the feather will come out very easy. And there is another one method which is known as the scalding method. Scalding method is nothing but dipping the entire bird in a warm water. The warm water temperature may vary between 60 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. If it is 60 degrees Celsius or its nearby area, then the duration of dipping into the warm water will be around 18 to 20 minutes. And if it is the temperature is in a higher side, then it is only for 5 to 6 seconds only. 18 to 20 seconds earlier and 5 to 6 seconds. If the temperature is in a lower side near 60, it is 18 to 20 seconds. Probably I have mentioned minute earlier, 18 to 20 seconds. And if it is nearer to 100, then it is only 5 to 6 seconds. This process is known as scalding. Dip it out, remove, and then pull the feather in the opposite direction. Automatically, the feather will all come out. The bird will be clean from outside. Now, after plucking, the next stage is third point is known as hanging. Hanging of bird is required as because we know about the word rigor mortis. As soon as the death will occur, there is a tendency of the muscle that it will get shrinked. More it will be shrinked, the meat will become more tougher. This event is known as the rigor mortis, toughening of the muscles and fibers. And to prevent that, we have to hang the bird against its weight so that the muscles are not allowed to get contracted. It will be stretched out. As a result, rigor mortis will be prevented and the benefit will be that the meat will remain tender and soft. So hanging is required for a specific period of time. After hanging, then another one term is there which is known as singeing. Singeing, singeing is the spelling. Singeing is what? Singeing is, if you see, holding the bird after plucking and hanging against the flame and burning the fine feathers and hair still remaining on the skin. Because though you have plucked, but there is a possibility some part of the feathers or fine feathers and fine hairs will be remaining on the skin top. We cannot use it for cooking. So you have to clean it. Process is known as singeing. Holding it from the leg and winglet side, hold it straight from the flame, not very close to the heat, not on a very high flame. Only that you have to utilize the heat part so that the fine hairs and feathers will be burnt. And once that is burnt, rotate the part uniformly from all the sides so that the skin is not damaged. The color will remain intact. It should not be burnt, should not be roasted over there because of some faulty process. And then once it is done, take a brush and brush it off. So it will be primarily cleaned over there. But this is not the entire cleaning. The very next stage is cleaning the bird. How to clean? Take it to the basin, put it under running water from inside and outside, clean it thoroughly. Remove all the entrails from inside. Entrails means the internal unedible parts. Remove it out, throw it away, clean it again from inside and outside. Then after, use a kitchen duster or a kitchen cloth, rub it on the bird from all the sides as to make it dry. And that time the bird is clean. Until one more point is there, you can see the tail region. This tail region has got a specific name. It is known as oil gland. Also, it is technically known as person's nose. Person's nose. Now, this oil gland or person nose, there is no evidence that it is harmful. That is, rather, it is known as innocuous, not harmful. But still, because of the aesthetic value, we cut it off with the knife the way it is done out here. Sometimes it is observed that if you cook this oil gland, it will give you a musky flavor in the food. To avoid that, and because of the aesthetic value, we always cut this end part, which is known as oil gland or person's nose. Clear? So what we have learned exactly today out here? First of all, we have clarified the concept of poultry and games. Then after, we have discussed about how the poultry birds are reared in different ways. And we know rearing has got some direct impact on the tenderness of the meat. Then the different market names of the poultry and games, we have identified that with the images. At the same time, we have learned about how the chicken, typically the chicken will be pre-prepared before we go for actual fabrications. That is what we have discussed today in this particular session. So with this, we are at the end of the session, and thanks a lot for attending this session with all your focus. Hopefully you have enjoyed, you have learned many new things out here. Your valued comment is very, very important for us, for me as well. So please do comment in the comment box. Also, if you have any doubt, make it a point that you are raising the points over there in terms of questions. I'll get back to you and clarify it. Very soon we'll be back with the next lesson, that is part 7. For another exciting information will be delivered in that session. And if you have liked this, then please ensure that you are clicking the like button, pressing the bell button, subscribing it, and sharing it with your friends. So as soon as the next lesson, next week will be over, so next lesson will be uploaded out here, and I'm sure that you'll be enjoying that session also very nicely to your best extent, and I am committed for giving you another one exciting lesson. Till then, goodbye and take care.